mashing up felt like way. Who mashing up felt like way. Them can't mash up felt like way. Them know all the energy. Boy, we ready. We ready.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
What's up? 799 activated WEFM 99.9. It's on now.
All righty then, so we are back with you with Activated Mornings right here on WEFM 99.9 with live for this commentary. Live, family, we just take this call and here we're supposed to go to say hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, guys. Good morning. How you all doing?
Morning, we good. Val, what's up?
I'm good for the time being. Hey, I just want to zero in on something that was mentioned about the artists claiming, saying that they did not know the time that was allotted to them to be on stage. Now, in my honest opinion, that's absurd. We need to remember that those artists, they signed contracts, and within that contracts, those contracts, you have stipulated details, and I'm sure that time would have been one of them. To say that you did not know the time, it's like saying that you did not know the song. If you were to say that you could not remember the time that was allocated, I can understand that. Or you could say that you knew the time that was allocated, but you say, because I tell you this, my opinion is that you have some artists who go on stage, knowing the time limit, they're performing, but they're not getting the crowd response that they figure that it's enough for them. So they would say, you know what, let's go a bit further and throwing the cause of time out of the window. But to say that they did not know the time that was allocated, come on, they need to do better than that. Again, maybe they could say that, hey, they forgot the time that was allocated. That's like saying you don't know what time to board a plane. You don't know what time the flight is. So you forgot. Don't say that no time was given to you. And correctly, as Roleza said, there was a time clock in the semis. So they in their mind should know that there is a time that's allocated for their performance. But to say that they were not told or they don't know, come on, man, they forgot. And that's my opinion on it.
But Value know how much time is taken off, how much points is taken off when they go over.
No, I do not know, but what I know is that while I was listening to the commentary, I heard the commentators saying that they give the time for each performance in different categories. So I know that time was there. I don't know if there were any penalizing of going over time. I'm not too sure of that. But my point is that, an artist should not say that they did not know the time that was allocated to them.
Yeah, but I suppose, maybe I suppose as well too, was there a display of the clock, yes or no, on the stage? Because it's one thing for me to know, okay, maybe I have 8 minutes, but remember being on stage, unless I have something to help me monitor, you could easily see how I can go over.
Yeah, understand.
No, but you should know your production and how long your production would take from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, but if I get caught in a hype.
So technically, you're saying that CBC probably dropped the ball by not having the display of the clock on the stage?
I would say that if it wasn't there, it would have significantly helped them to keep within their time frame.
It should have been there. It should have been there.
It should have been there. But
because
I'm sure that you guys will agree that...
Because it's one thing, let's say for me to do the rehearsal, the practice of my entrance and everything. But remember, when you get on stage, it's a little bit different, right? So having the clock would have helped significantly for them.
So here's the thing. This is what I go back to the point that I made before. An artist performing on stage, they're feeding off of the crowd. And while they're performing, in their mind, they may say, look, I'm not getting what I want here. I'm going to go a bit further. So if it were up to them, they could have spent 10 minutes, 12 minutes until they're satisfied. Come on, man. Within their mind, they should have been able to, negotiate or say to themselves, yeah, boy, I think this is the time,
Val,
but you said...
Val, let me look at even us here on radio before Rajiv might pull me up for this. But anyhow, even us here in our conversations, we have clocks. We're supposed to finish at a particular time, but we don't have So having the clock helps.
Right, exactly. So you know that there's a timestamp. So for an artist to say that they did not know, that is the argument I'm putting forward. They claim that they did not know that they had a timestamp or a duration period.
Right.
That is absurd.
But if all the clocks are taken out of in here, phones included, we may not always know that this is the 5 minutes that we have or the 10 minutes that we have.
There's a mental clock. There's a mental clock.
Val, so come on out before they had clocks.
Yes.
Great. So
yes.
I'm wondering what the reason why they didn't have any of these wrongs.
Well, yeah, they dropped the ball by not displaying the clock. But I go back to my original statement for an artist to say that they did not know and they were not told. That's absurd. That's my point. We could agree that, yes, he dropped the ball by not having the clock on stage. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if how they were penalized, if how many points were taken off. I mean, I can't speak to that. But back to the original point, they knew.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, man. Have a good one.
You too. All right. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is also why Magical lost last year. Well, what I heard was because he went overtime. So yeah, I think that was one reason.
Just hold me to take this call. It's supposed to trend again for a while. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, folks.
Morning.
Good morning. Also, come on.
Given the opportunity this morning. Is like there still?
Yes.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Hello.
Morning.
Yeah.
I was asking you how was Sokomanak. But you can continue.
Yes, I'm coming to that. I want to build in this Sokomanak into something. I want to build in Sokomanak into the time factor. Okay? Listen, I am getting, and I was really irritated on Sokomanak night. Very irritated. You can't tell me, and I notice a lot of intentions now, I don't know what's the matter with them when it comes to time. You can't advertise a show for 8, 9 o'clock and start in midnight and everybody want to sit down and agree with that, want to accept that. And then you're saying that the organizers is waiting on people, so whenever people come into the park, then is when we get the show going. That is total nonsense. This thing has to be stopped. I've been going to the park for several years. If you know my age, I've been going to the park for several years. And when shows advertised for 8 o'clock, the latest show it starts is about 5 past, 10 past 8. Look at the Calypso final. Just the same thing. And one of the things I want to mention, even at this Calypso final, when I got you at the park, now I normally will go up. When I go to listen to Calypso, I like to be close to the stage. When I go to the tent, I'm up front. Because I want to be part of what is taking place. When I got there, I noticed no chairs, no tent. They removed them. So people like myself, now that I'm old and I can't stand up, I did that. But I like to sit and really take in Calypso properly, and the chairs that usually are there on Calypso final night, they were not there. No, mister, I have to talk to Rodney. Rodney is my friend, and I noticed he's getting a lot of licks. I don't know if he is the one that is solely responsible, but the time management is something that we have to look at again when they're having these shows. Time management. Between each performer, a long time has elapsed. Why that has to be like that? Things are deteriorating in a particular sense, and they need to get these things sorted out. I go to the park 8 o'clock, so come on, and I leave at 8 o'clock the next day. 8 o'clock one day and 8 o'clock the next day.
That's 12 hours, boy.
And people seem to be comfortable.
All right,
I'm going to be comfortable with that.
Let me just jump in here with this thing, right? Because I'm listening to this conversation. It's a conversation that's been happening a while. But part of me is also wondering, and there, so you are my father, but I'm not calling you old. But I am wondering if part of this is also an age thing, right? Part of this conversation is an age thing, because the reason why I'm saying it is we note that, so yes, the event is supposed to start at 9. Gates open at 7, start at 9. But persons are not coming out to the event until after 12, but they're staying for the full thing. But one of the things that I recognize is that the persons who are having this conversation more than the others are the older folks who, maybe because you've participated in Carnival before, you've attended many events over the years, the decades, that you're so used to maybe events starting at a particular time, maybe like a half an hour after the fact. But now it's a younger crowd-ish, and they're preferring to go to events later.
Roleza.
I'm listening.
Roleza.
I'm listening.
You are a person and you believe in principle. You as a former teacher. Time. You know when your student come to your classroom a little before you start teaching, you tell them, you will scold them strongly. We need to inculcate time into people. You can't start and give these kind of excuses. You advertise a show for a particular time, get the show going for the time, who there's there. No, I don't believe in that. And please, I don't want us to adopt that. No, we cannot do that.
Yeah, I understand it. I understand it from where you're coming from, because I personally, if I leave in home to go at an event, I don't want to be there past maybe half an hour and the event hasn't started. That's one of the reasons why I had to leave home, right? I had to go to events because of that same factor. But when I look at that situation and this conversation with Sokomanak in particular, people are not turning up until after 12. And the persons who want to see the event starting on time or close to on time are generally the persons who have been participating in Carnival for a longer time.
Feedback.
Who's feedback? Let me see something. Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to be able to strike this balance. As I gave a suggestion earlier this morning.
Roleza, which balance is striking?
Striking the balance in terms of starting early enough and encouraging persons to actually be in park for the starting time of the events.
Roleza,
when you purchase a ticket, the time is on the ticket, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people know.
The time is on
people
the ticket.
know the time that the event starts.
You know something? Maka, I believe you'll agree with me now. We have to start soon.
Listen, right? You could imagine the show start at 9 o'clock, right? The show, it's supposed to start at 9, and then it doesn't start until after 11. I'm there from since 9 until what time the show finish? 7 o'clock?
Yeah, around 6:37.
That is a long time, to be in Victoria Park.
Very long.
Very long.
Very long.
See, it also goes back to this whole thing, and this is not a CDC issue, This is a cultural people issue, because the fact that many persons have the mindset: if I go there for 9 o'clock, nobody going to be in park.
Exactly.
So if everybody adopts that principle, listen, it's not just a CDC thing.
But let's say CDC, let's start at 9 o'clock. What's gonna happen?
If it starts at 9, then what it means is that the persons who are performing at 9, or let's say 9:30, they are not going to be performing in front of an audience, an actual crowd. They're going to be performing in front of who is there, which is not necessarily going to get them the same hype and the same vibe that they need on stage.
You see? Roleza, we are getting into the habit of knowing. Okay, the show advertised for 8. Man, you suck the teeth, man. I'm going to start 8 o'clock, man. They're going to start 9, so going on for 9. No, the point I'm making, start at the time, and the people out there will get there. They will get there. Trust me, they will get there. They will get there.
I agree with you. They need to start the show on time, and if people want to partner their business, they need to start the show them on time.
All right.
To start the show on time.
I agree with you.
So then in the raga part of it, they would take out that category of proud response.
You don't have to take out anything, Roleza. You do not have to take out anything.
Yeah, but there will be nobody there to give you any response, any crowd response.
But there was hardly anybody there anyways.
For the raga?
Most of the raga people them couldn't move the crowd. The only person that moved the crowd was El Punk and Keep Currency, because they come up with this new thing. Sing along with me. To get the crowd to respond.
Yeah.
Or the other people just be move to the right, move to the left, wave your flag, pop your lighter, whatever. They came up with this new thing. Sing your part, sing this part. Right? I see an artist try to tell the crowd move left and right. And the crowd, they're watching them like dimes and pixel.
All right.
Nobody
I have two more points. I have just two quick points I want to make, right?
Okay.
The issue of the clock. The clock at the what was it, semi-final? Semi-final at Annisville, the clock was there.
Right.
I was there, the clock was there because I keep looking at the clock to where the performance. So I do not know why it was not at Victoria Park. It should have been there. And life.
Yeah, listen.
Life. I want to support you 100%. I had fireman in my tree. Fireman should have placed in the Soccer Monarch. I don't understand why he didn't place. He should have placed.
Definitely.
And praise should be given to the man for all the years. You know, you've been coming with good music each year. You know, you will have his critics. But Fireman is a star. He's a star to Soccer Monarch. When it comes to Soccer Monarch, the man is a star among the others.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, I don't think that he's going to stay out, which is a good thing for CDC. Because who is going to take the crowd in the park if Fireman stay out? Who is going to take it in? Jasper is good, but Jasper has a build the kind of following that Fireman and them have as yet. Who going to take them in the park? Times and Picture and Cont'd man.
Life. One of the things that Fireman has that no other artist has in this country, and they will not be able to do what Fireman is doing. It's when the Fireman starts to sway the crowd, let me go, point the fingers on the way, no other artist can make it.
They can't do it. They can't
have that kind of command.
All right, before you go,
like about the man.
Before you go though, I have a question regarding the Juve. Was the traditional Juve held? Traditional Juve display?
Well, I got I got to understand there's a whole, I don't want to go public with that, but I got to understand that the things did not work out the way it usually does. Yeah, I forgot to understand the stage was set up late and there was no music. One of the major leaders complained about it. So I don't know what went wrong. I don't know what's wrong. Some serious postmortem have to be taken on this carnival.
Okay. All right, so my question has been answered. All right, because I haven't seen any pictures or anything.
Roleza, I have one more concern. One concern. It appears to me that all of the foreign-based people who come to St. Vincent for Carnival, they don't come for Carnival. They don't come to see what we have in terms of the culture. They come to party.
I agree.
Yeah, they come to party.
Observation, you know.
The only show they're interested in is in Soca Monarch.
Yeah, they come to party.
That's the only show they're interested in. So there's there's the other side of this conversation, right? Just yesterday I had the conversation. So I see things I try to see things from different angles. One of the things, yes, we could recognize is that they're not coming for the cultural aspects of the carnival, right? The CDC put out the event.
Well, they're coming for Tuesday, Juve, and Fisher.
Right. Okay.
And the all-inclusive.
Somebody began a feedback.
The all-inclusive, that's all. And Soca Monarch. Well, they're really coming for Soca Monarch, but they go to Soca Monarch. Right.
So, but there is this spill-off effect that comes from them being here, right? Taxis make money. The Airbnbs and hotels make money. The restaurants make money. Maybe beauty salons, etc. They're making money. So while it is, they may not necessarily be investing in the traditional aspects of some of the things, like let's say calypso, etc. There is that spill-off effect of them being here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes. There's a spill-off effect.
Right.
But the point I'm making here, okay, from my observation, and you know where I am living, most of the events so far within my surroundings, you know, day and night. And I said, but wait, that's what these people came to St. Vincent for.
Yeah, that's what they came to St. Vincent for.
They came for, but the nation still.
Is it interfering? Is it interfering with the CDC shows?
No, I don't think so.
It's not.
There may go. No foreigner don't want to go to Pan. We had this discussion. No foreigner don't want to go to Pan. I don't want to go to junior carnival. Parents don't even want to play Mardi Gras. They don't even want to go into the park for Mardi Gras.
And I don't even think they want to go to Calypso
wait,
either.
the caller. All right, thank you. You finished?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Life?
Yeah. Well, listen, anybody think promoter events affecting CDC events, they need to have a really in-depth look at what's going on. If we cancel the foreign, if we cancel the promoter, let me just say, we cancel no foreign promotion, no promotions during Carnival. We gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Carnival will be like just other normal time in service at the Grenadines. If we do that, people not even going to the street bars them. You know what I mean?
But most of the time, like you notice the time that the all-inclusive fete are happening, sometime midday, after midday.
Yeah. Because I went to one, a really nice one, Solaris, and that finished. That was in the morning. They had parties that started 1 o'clock in the night and go into the morning and these kind of things. I don't think.
We have a call on the line. Hello, morning.
Good morning, guys. This is Fitzhuggins. Life morning.
Morning.
Making trouble, eh? Morning, Roleza. Morning, Maka.
Morning.
And morning to your father who just called Roleza. we had a long discussion on a picnic on Sunday over Sokomonak. So I don't know how serious. I don't know how he is when it comes to the argument.
And I saw him. I noticed that he was in park, so that's why I was trying to harass him and ask him how it was.
Yeah, he must provoke your father, girl.
Yeah, he plenty younger than me, and plenty younger than me. But anyhow.
Hot boy. Anyway, to lend my voice to this discussion about presentation and time, I think the artists would know the time for the guys. So, and if they didn't know, you should know, because if you go into a competition, you have to know the rules. And if you don't know the rules, you shouldn't go into a competition because you don't know. You should know. You should have an interest. Most of these guys should have management. You should talk to the managers and so on, right? So that's not an excuse if you don't know the time. But on Saturday night, I got to the park about 10 past 11, and the show started about 13 past 11. I'm like, wow, 2 hours late. This is unreasonable. The park didn't have a lot of people, so I just say, let me stock it out a bit and let me stick it out and see what's going to happen. And then about 3 o'clock, maybe after 2 minutes to 3, the first part of the competition ended. I went across to look for my partner, Fireman. So I said, Fireman, what time are you performing? He said, he ain't know, but he performing in position 11. So the Sober Monarch started minutes to 3, maybe 3 o'clock. Wow. So I said, well, Fireman, your presentation, does it have any night effects in your presentation? He said, yeah, all my presentation are built on performing in the night. So people who build their presentation on performing in the night, for example, if you have fireworks, if you go on the stage at 7 o'clock in the morning, it's taking your presentation totally out of whack, and you will lose points because it doesn't give you that night effect. So the CDC has to pay attention. If you're having a night show, you can't be having fellas coming up 8 o'clock in the morning to perform a night show and a competition, because part of their strength might be in the presentation, and you're taking that away from them. So the extended time in the morning, I mean, that is ridiculous. I think that mentality is pretty much killing the nightclub entertainment. If you have a show start at 9 and finishes at 1, 2 o'clock, you could have a nightclub starting a party, and people could extend their night into the morning by going to the nightclub. And to encourage night, I remember the days of Aquatic. We used to leave park and go to Aquatic for the rest of the night. And that had a lot of nightclubs those days, so they may have to look at that. How do we get nightclub entertainment back on track?
But Fitz,
as far as
I remember years ago when I used to go to Soca Monarch, people used to leave Soca Monarch and go uptown by the street bars.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the show used to finish around, let's say, 3 o'clock, 3:30.
Yeah.
But we have to really give this whole Soca Monarch and these night events another look. I believe strongly that the amount of the amount of time given for each competitor is too long. If it's 10 minutes or 8 minutes, I think 6 minutes. If you can put out a presentation in 6 minutes, my opinion.
In Lucia is 7. In St. Lucia is 7 minutes.
Okay, so let's say 7 minutes. If you have a lot of these guys just linger on stage, just trying to fill up time for the clock. You know, if they finish the presentation 4 minutes short. Yeah, if you finish your presentation 3 or 4 minutes short, then you don't get marked down for finish short. You get marked down for going over the time. So
I was wondering what happened with Kelly, because Kelly seemed to leave the stage abruptly, in my opinion. When she left, it seemed to have been an abrupt exit. But so I'm not sure what happened there. Yeah.
I also think that CDC should start to look at the business of this show. You can't have people coming to the park from, say, 6 o'clock. I'm thinking about barmen, attendants, workers, etc., and leaving 8 o'clock the next day. You have to pay them for every hour. You're losing money every day. Every hour you spend extra, the lights have to be on longer at the park. That's an expense to CDC. You know, you have to pay workers, you have to pay security guards. Like you did shows already, and you know how expensive security guards,
especially police. Especially police, yeah. You look at the business of the show. You can't have, for example, even if you're doing a private promotion, you hire a man like, say, Marshall Montano, and he say, boy, we have a contract. You perform for our Marshall, charge you $240,000. Let's call a number because he's a high figure man. So in 1 hour, he's making $240,000. You have to find people to come into that gate to listen to Marshall for 1 hour, to pay him from that revenue that you just made at the gate. Plus, you have to go pay the other artists and all them kind of thing. You have to find a way to, you have to pay security. You have to look at the business of entertainment rather than just putting on a show and losing money. You have to start to say, boy, how could we package this show that we could make more money, more profit out of it? One suggestion I would like to offer, I think you have too many performances on the night. Maybe you should have maybe 8 for each category, maybe 10 stretch, but only you have to listen to 25, which is 13 and 12. 25 multiplied by 10 minutes. You know, you look at, the 10 minutes for each person. You know, there's a lot of time, and they gotta find a way to crunch that time, make it more pleasing to us, the customers, because I don't think they pay a lot of attention to our satisfaction, if people who pay to go in. I think they need to do that. The last beef I had with the CDC, this year, I went to Juve morning to look at the presentation uptown with the fancy bands, they call them. And there was no PA system on the stage for the people to narrate the performances. I mean, how could they make a mistake like that? I think that is something that's gonna die, and they're gonna have to take the blame for that. You have these bands coming out and asking them to come on stage to display a placard, and nobody knows what it's all about. I see the guys coming off the stage and tell me, "Boy, Fitz, boy, my whole presentation is about the narrative, and I'm not going on." And he said he's not coming back next year. So they have to be. It's a lot of things we have to look at. They say last year we came off a really good carnival where there were hardly any issues like this to talk about. But this year I don't know what slipped, what happened. But let's hope that we could build on this for next year, because Vincymas is too big for us to lose it to the other islands. We gotta build on this, and I hope they're listening. I hope they don't see everything as a criticism and start to take advice.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Fitz.
As Fitz said, I hope they're listening. And take it as advice. You know what I mean? And not criticism, because it is advice. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. I don't like to share with our facts, because every time I share with our facts, I start to give my own opinion. People going to say, "Oh, you're hating pan this, and you're hating pan that, and you're doing this, and you're doing that." You know what I mean? So,
if you had a call on the line, hello, morning.
And this will be the final call for the morning.
Right. Yeah, because
How much time you have live?
I'll leave after this call.
Okay. All right, Weezy, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, I feel like all you want to take my call this morning. You hear me?
We hearing you. You get through. Go ahead. Weezy?
So the window.
Weezy?
You see?
You hearing me, right?
Yes, we're hearing you now. You can go right ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I was saying I'm driving. So
all right. So Weezy, the connection.
Sweet.
All right, go ahead.
You hearing me now?
Yeah, but it's
let me stop and place so because my signal seems to be dropping out. Hold on.
All right. I'm talking about signal dropping out. I think this is another thing that we need to.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Weezy.
Right. I'll stop now. Yeah. I first of all I agree with Fitz.
Hello?
We tend to see, and if we don't arrest or correct what's happening, it's going to deteriorate. And at that point, with regards to the
all right, Weezy,
mass presentation uptown, I thought that was, I mean, I don't understand how they can make an error like that. That is just ridiculous. Let me also.
Okay, so Weezy, we not Weezy.
The Calypso, both, and the other.
Weezy.
All right, so Weezy, we're not hearing you clearly this morning. So yeah, it's constantly dropping out. So we're gonna have to. All right, so let me see.
Yeah.
All right, so Weezy, because of the signal constantly dropping out, we had to cut the call. All right, so live.
Yeah. What? This is a discussion we could. There are a lot of things that happen, not carnival related, that we have to talk about in the upcoming days. But we could continue this conversation because it's very important. It's a part of our culture. It's our culture. It's what we are interested in as a people. It's things that we want to see get better and better, not worse off. Good this year and flat next year, or flat next year and good the next year. We just want to see it be consistent. And it's just open from what I observe. I've been observing this for 20-something years. At one point, I was involved with the CDC, and I think my time being involved with the CDC in what I was doing with them was very impactful, right? But they have transitioned into other things and other people. And it seems like if a lot of organizations, not just the CDC, a lot of organizations in civil don't like criticism. Well, let me not use criticism. Don't like when people observe and say what they observe. I don't want to use criticism because when I say criticism, people just want to say criticism mean you're being negative or whatever, right? And somebody once said to me, there's nothing such as positive criticism. So let me not use that word.
What that is?
People, I observe and I say what's going on, and it ain't bringing down or talking down to nobody. Because look, we have people who are very good friends with some of the people who are on CDC, and they're saying some of the same things. What we're going to say, they want to bring down the friend or whatever. No, it's something that we all involved in, and we want to see get better and maintain a certain standard. You understand? And I don't understand. As I said, I got into the emotional part of the Soca Monarch with criticizing the artists or whatever, right? But you can't blame the artists for performing and placing. That's what they're going to do, right? What I'm questioning is the placement. I'm questioning the placement, you know? And some of the artists don't like it either. Because when I was speaking about the picks for Soca Monarch a few days ago, an artist met me and said, oh, I hear you say about my song, and you didn't like my song or whatever. And I was right, because your song, you do nothing. You went away with the song and your song, you do nothing. You understand? So who you going to blame, me or the judges, or CDC, or whoever, or yourself? You know what I mean? So yeah, we could continue this discussion another day.
Right. Before you go, there's just one more thing that I want to another point. during Carnival season, we have a lot of content. Let me not say a lot because I haven't been counting them, but we have people who come over here as content creators. And yesterday, even with VC3, the service providers, you try to need to up your game, especially during the Carnival season, because there was one content creator that I was looking at yesterday. No, I was looking at on Monday. And it was interesting because she knows the spots in Kingston where she knows that she has to switch to a different network in order for there to be coverage, right? So we have to remember that the content creators are also coming to help to promote our carnival, right? When they stream live to whoever it is they're streaming all over the world, whoever is who have subscribed to their particular channels, they are helping with the marketing and promotion of our carnival. And to see that the streams are constantly cutting out, even VC3 on Monday was cutting out constantly. Service providers, there are more than one of them. At least as much as possible, try to up your game during the carnival season because these persons are helping to promote Vincymas. So that is probably just the last thing I want to say in this entire carnival conversation.
That's a discussion for another day. So we got
yeah.
I mean? But yeah, all in all, I like to also big up the private promoters for making Vincymas what it was again this year. You all didn't drop the ball, you all did your thing. You understand? It's
some persons don't have to big up those the sanitation workers. Can't forget them.
Well, yeah, they did the job. They always doing the job. You know what I mean? They always doing the job, yeah. You know, but we go continue this discussion. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people listening. I know a lot of people listening and do interact, right? But you're gonna hear from them when you meet them in town. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When I don't talk and honest, you call in and take and have the conversation. Don't tell me anything. But
yeah. Well, you can't say that. You can't say that. Yeah, but just listen.
You can't avoid it.
yeah, you can't avoid it. But people listen and some people disagree. Some people disagree. Some people agree. Some people would hate. Some people hate to hear the sound of your voice. It's just reality. It's just reality. You just have to go with it. You know what I mean? But
deliberately misconstrue or misinterpret what you say and
that stuff that a whole string of things. A whole string of things. But we will continue this conversation next week.
All right, cool. All right, so we talk to you tomorrow live. Have a good one. Be safe and all that good stuff. Take care. All right, and that concludes our Live Today commentary. It was more so a synopsis or postmortem of our thoughts regarding Carnival 2026. We are going to take a quick break at this time and be back with more Activated Mornings here on WEFM. Just to know that coming up at 9:20 would be our open forum. So if there's anything that we spoke about this morning in any of the segments and you want to lend your voices or your thoughts or your opinions to, or even ask something brand new, you have that opportunity at 9:20. All right? Activated Mornings on WEFM.
Nothing else sounds as good as
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
The Carnival Vibes hit